Well, it's come to this. You become my surrogate therapist because my therapist is still missing. And I become too shaky-fingered to text. And Google Voice is making me say vulgar things, yet it took out all the swear words, even though I keep saying don't block for fucking vanity. So, we're taking it to the one-sided visual world so I can get my thoughts out. This is the place where I live. This is my dungeon. There actually is a basement here, but this isn't it. This is the 70s floor, and this is where I dye my hair, and this is where I was texting to you the other day. My mom, 1979 was the year that my sister had a baby, and my brother had a baby. Well, his wife did. My grandpa went to heaven, and my other sister moved to Chicago, and we went to visit her. I wouldn't stop talking about monkeys in the playground, so she told me she was going to leave me there. And I didn't cry or behave and didn't stop talking about it because I was not one of her kids that worked with her kids. And I was a weird kid. So I just said, for how long? And I was sort of learning about the idea of infinity and forever and ever and ever. You love me forever, forever, all the way, forever and ever and ever. So I said, how long? Forever? Until infinity? And she didn't smoke. She measured things by minutes. My mother would be very relaxed and say, we'll leave in 2 cigarettes. So my half-sister and I just were like these aliens to each other, and I sat there on one of those metal spinny things that you could have in the 70s that were now like, now you have to wear a helmet to walk on wood chips. And she said 100 years. Mm-hmm. And I thought of that, and I sat there and kind of contemplated it. And I imagined, I didn't know at 3 or 4 years old exactly what there was in 100 years to whatever. I don't know. I knew 100 years was almost as old as my granny. Actually, it was older than my granny. My granny was 96. So, I don't know. I thought it could be interesting. It could be better than not being allowed to talk about Curious George falling in a swimming pool and peeing, or whatever it was that I was doing that was unspeakable. And I never understood why that was bad. It wasn't hurting anyone. It was just sort of annoying. It wasn't like I was one of those kids who was so ADD. I was just like, ah, ah. So I just sat there, thinking what would happen. It's summer. It'll get cold. It'll be my birthday. It'll be winter. Will an orphanage get me? Will there be something Monkey Girl in Park finds a Christmas home? I just immediately went with the idea that my mother, even though she was there, wouldn't, claim me and say, what the hell are you doing? So, I was claimed. I wasn't even neglected. And there's some part of me that's still Monkey Girl in the park in Chicago. Just disheveled and, eating other people's Skittles packages and bumming cigarettes. Because, of course, I have to know how to tell time. How the hell was I going to be able to get to, whatever caseworker I'd end up with in Cook County if I couldn't be there in 2 cigarettes? Mm-hmm. So I don't know where my therapist is. But my mother has been pretty much said that she has irreparable brain damage from the ARDS episode and the intubation not being quick enough. And it is so incredibly fucked up because she sounds for a second like herself. Like she's sitting there having a cigarette and how are you doing and how's this person, how's that, and who's going on. And then she'll say something so incredibly fucked up. My godmother died, my aunt. Her sister, who was a little over a year apart from her age, who I was pretty close to when she was healthier, and she had gotten into dementia, and so it's sort of like she pre-died in a way, and I was my last memory of her being close to herself was Thanksgiving of 2016, and even then she wasn't Aunt Carol really, but she was and she wasn't. And I sort of made my goodbyes in my mind then, and she was already fading. My mother was my mother a month ago, and all of a sudden she's fucking batshit she wants to go to Buffalo for the funeral. I reminded her, Mom, Aunt Carol lived here with you. You guys moved here in the early 60s, and you've lived here. And I don't know when the funeral is. I would like to go, but I don't think they're having services. Remember you told me? She says, oh, they're going to eat her. Excuse me. They're going to eat her. That's what you do, you know, some families. They're going to donate her to science. And they're going to eat her. And I was not okay with that. And I had to say, did you just say that? No, they're going out for a bite to eat. What do you say? You have sick? Some kind of sick kind of... What's wrong with you? Lots of things. And, you know, that helps. That really helps. So... Then she said, you brought it up, the stuff about George. I said, I didn't talk about George. I didn't mention him at all. So she told me to call my ex-husband, because he's the police, and he's a lawyer. Get her the fuck out of there, because she's like Amanda Berry and those other girls on the west side who were being held and kidnapped by that insert racial expletive. Oh my God, like, Mom. And then she starts to go into what happened to me in my situation. Things that I made her read in my police report thing. And she's regurgitating them, that they happening to her. And it is just so harrowing. And she's just terrible about it. And she says that she doesn't want anything to do with me now because I'm evil. She didn't say evil, because you're not my child. My child would never let me rot in this place where they're torturing me, making me eat poisonous things that are trying to kill me with those pills ground up in applesauce. I said, Mom, they're doing this because you couldn't swallow right after they intubated you. They're not trying to kill you. They're trying to make sure you don't choke on the medicines that'll make you feel better. Don't you talk down to me, Miss Asshole. You're crazy. I said, I am crazy. I am crazy, but I'm not lying. I'm not a liar. I'm just a little off. But I would not lie to you. No one's holding you hostage. You're too sick. You need to be on the respiratory machines there at night. It takes the carbon dioxide out of your lungs. It makes... Oh, you and your smart talk. You think you're so much better than everybody. You know what? You don't have any friends. I said, you're right. Stand up straight. You know what? You walk around. You look like you wish you were dead. And then that part, that was before she was whacked out. She used to always love to tell me all the like crappy things about my posture, and not in a constructive way, like, oh honey, you know, maybe if you stood up a little straighter. She used to make me walk around the house with a broom behind my back, like some sort of Polish crucifixion practice. And the thing is, with my size of boobs, and this is where your gay goatness is going to be grossed out, here's my posture. Yeah, it's kind of round shouldered.